What's up, Doc?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to What's Up, Doc. Today's podcast is going to be talking. We're going to be talking about what is better, movies in cinemas or at home streaming from the comfort of your couch. Today, joining me are my co-hosts Deathstroke and King Shark. What's up, guys? How are you guys?
Sup, man? It's great to be here. Hey, Deathstroke.
Yeah, all good actually. Really excited for episode 2. Super pumped and right talk about something that's happening in the world, because of COVID now. A lot of people forced to watch movies, at home rather than watching in the cinema. So yeah, really excited for this conversation.
Yeah, I guess right now, the pandemic is still going on. And right now, there's a lot of countries that are going back into lockdown. It's a real tragedy because, a lot of people won't be able to enjoy or, even, go out of their houses to do work. So this topic is, because of some recent events, this topic is more and more needed to talk. It's more, needed to be talked about.
It's controversial, right?
I mean, it is controversial to the directors, some of the directors.
I mean, we've seen some of the directors getting pissed, like
Yeah.
really pissed. So,
Okay, so first of all, we're going to be talking about why movies in cinema are better and why are they not. So, King Shark, would you, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I personally prefer movies in cinemas. I always do. I mean, going there, in the effect, IMAX, 3D, 4DX. And somehow for me, it always makes the movie even better watching in cinema. It could be a very bang average movie, like the latest movie, not Dark Phoenix, or the other movie. We watched it together. Yeah,
the
that's
New
true.
Mutants,
New Mutants, my
New
bad. Sorry.
Mutants,
I know
best
both are
movies.
bad, but New Mutants, my God, that movie had something all right. It feel like it was changing tone every minute. But yeah, I just feel like even though that was a pretty bad movie, just watching in cinema adds to the effects a bit, you know? So
That
that's
was
what
really weird, man. That film. They reshot multiple times, and it was so confusing. The movie was jumping from different. It's a horror movie, it's a comedy movie, it's Breakfast Club, and it's weird in the end. It's just plain weird.
it's one of those movies that really shows range, right? In a director's I think even he
Uh,
didn't know what was happening next.
um, King Shark,
Yeah, Goat, you think?
yeah, why do you think movies in cinema is not the great option right now? Like why is it not applicable right now?
Obviously, yes, safety is the number one priority. I mean, usually if I go with a movie with a lot of my friends, right, I'd want to sit together with all of them and five of us together. I don't think that's even allowed now because you're supposed to space out, and obviously cinemas can't be full. You don't get that same atmosphere as you usually get. I remember going for Endgame last year. Cinemas full, people reacting to every scene. You really felt it throughout. And yeah, that's one of the main things that I miss about cinemas, going watching it with friends. And yeah, watching at home, yeah, I mean it is at the comfort of your home, but it's just not the same feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. What's your thoughts, Deathstroke? What are your thoughts about watching movies in cinemas or streaming it at home?
Well, first of all, I'm all for cinema. I just love cinema. I'll watch any film in cinema, even the worst ones. So, first of all, I think cinema is for a movie, it's the best experience watching it in cinema. I mean, the movies are made for cinema. There's a big screen, the atmosphere, the speakers, the big room. It really intrigues you. You know, that place is, it's like a heaven for moviegoers, you know, the movie lovers. So I really enjoy watching a film in cinema with a big bucket of popcorn in my hand. The movie gets a little bit more interesting for me if I watch it in cinema. And you know, when everyone's sitting and it's a big movie like King Shark said about Endgame, it was huge. The crowd went crazy. So at home, you won't get that feeling much. You know, you'll be all alone most probably, or with your family. But when you're watching in home, you tend to stay quiet and don't make noise. But in cinema, you know, you just get really excited when everyone there's a like a big scene. So I think cinemas are the best way to experience a movie, especially some of the big movies. You know, like Star Wars. There's Endgame, and now there's going to be Justice League, which unfortunately is most probably only on HBO Max. But I would love to watch that movie in cinema. And plus, cinema, they have different experiences. There's the normal cinema, there's 3D, there's 4DX now. So that's 4DX is something you have to try in life. It's really amazing, but go for a movie that, you know, there's a lot of action and stuff. I went for Sonic, wasn't that fun? But when I went for BVS, that was my first time. It was really amazing. It made the movie 10 times better for me in 4DX. So I feel like cinemas are important. And then on the other hand, right now, going to cinema is difficult. Most countries, it's closed. Even here, it's really difficult. Most films won't release right now. That's why Warner Brothers did the smart move, moving to HBO Max.
Yeah, boy.
I think the streaming service is it's pretty amazing. First of all, it's cheaper compared to cinemas. As we all know, for us, we go to cinema. It's minimum the tickets 40, and then popcorn, the drinks. It easily for one guy it reaches up around 80 to 100. Whereas when you're at home and you're on a streaming service, you watch the new film, you have to pay monthly, maybe 30, 40, 50, and a lot of people can watch with you, and it's a lot cheaper. And right now it's actually much safer to watch on a streaming service in your home, be safe, because most people are actually scared to go out to cinemas because of the virus. But after this pandemic is over, I think the cinemas will reopen and it'll be as big as it used to be, because I feel like that some movies are made to be experienced in cinema. Like the Dune director, he's angry at Warner Brothers because he believes that his film is made for cinema. It's made for cinema, and now it's being released on streaming service for USA. It's going to be in cinemas, but it's mostly going to be for HBO Max. It's going to be online. Now the thing is, I feel like most of the directors are not pissed because it's in HBO Max and not in cinemas. It's because they lose a little bit of money because of that. They care mostly about the money. But I feel like that some movies like Dune is coming. There's Matrix 4, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. These movies are for cinema. The big, they have a lot of action. They're for cinema. Now, on the other hand, there are movies like Tom and Jerry is coming out. There are a few smaller films which are going to be great, but these films can be watched on a smaller screen with your family. So I feel like both are equally great. And on streaming service, actually, a lot of people watch any kind of films. I mean, you'll see Netflix top 10, you'll see a really bad film in number one, because people are bored, they watch anything on streaming service. That's true. You just put any movie, they're going to watch that film. That's something like low budget and maybe bad films can go on streaming services, because they know if you release a film in cinema, it won't do as well as it does on the streaming service for some films. So that's all I got.
That's all, huh?
Sorry, I
That's
like to speak a lot.
No, but I agree with
I'm a
most of what he
talkative
said.
person.
That's look,
yeah.
I agree that some movies are just made for cinema. I mean, you can't imagine seeing Zack Snyder's Justice League with all all that. build and everything, and dark side on the big screen, and Superman, Batman, and think, oh, you're just gonna be watching at home, on a laptop or TV. You gotta see it on the big screen, right? I mean, but
Yeah,
again, as
that's
you
a
said,
movie
there's
for big
some
screen.
there's some mediocre movies like most Marvel movies. Just kidding, Marvel fans. That you can watch at home. Like most of the Guardian of Galaxy movies or Thor movies. But yeah, just
I
some
mean, like
movies are
movies like Endgames are for cinema, but
yeah,
then movies
exactly.
like Spider-Man, Ant-Man, they're mostly you can watch them on the streaming service. Even for DCU, like Birds of Prey, maybe, and some other smaller films, you can watch them on the streaming service. They're fine if you want to. But I would still watch them in cinemas. I watched Birds of Prey twice in cinema, once in 4DX, because
I
I
think another
just
thing
love
that
movies.
happens, like I watched Wonder Woman 84 at home. And a thing that I noticed is like I took like about 4 to 5 hours to watch the movie. I just noticed how many times I pause it, just to go do some other stuff during the movie. And you can't do that in
I
a
have a
cinema,
similar
obviously.
habit. I
Yeah.
No matter how much I love the film, I just pause, go around, get something to eat, and do the stuff. But in cinemas, you have to stick to the screen, and and that's actually better because you actually focus on the story. You can't walk out or anything. But sometimes, even sometimes, you just leave the movie playing and you just go out, get something, fast. You go to the washroom, and you don't care about the movie as much as you would have on the big screen. And anything on the
Yeah,
bigger screen looks better.
yeah, that actually happened during 184 when I was watching. Like Sunday, I went in the washroom, came back, and I'm like, oh shit, did this scene really happen? Then I had to go back, and see it again.
That is one
Yeah.
advantage. If you come late, there's no
Yeah.
late problem. You can always rewind and
So,
watch it.
so I
So that's
mean,
better.
it's basically like there are some benefits and there are some disadvantages to both parts. But my thoughts on cinemas, I think basically cinemas are always going to exist. That's my perspective, and this is what I think because at one point there was talks when DVD and all this new technology was being thrown into the commercial market. At that time, people were like, "Yeah, cinemas are done, cinemas are finished." And till this day, we still have cinemas, and people are still watching it in cinemas. So what I'm trying to say is that whatever happens, going forward, even if Warner Bros. Decide to put all their movies on HBO Max with the cinema, with cinema release, people are still going to watch it in the cinemas, on their opening day, or keep it on. They want to experience it in the cinema because honestly, when I was watching Endgame, I think we can all agree Endgame was one of the best cinema experiences that we all had, and just watching the other people reacting to some scenes, and you also reacting to some scenes, getting goosebumps while everyone is shouting, that's kind of an atmosphere everyone wants to be part of. And I think that's one of the reasons why cinemas are still valuable to this day. But at this point right now, first of all, Warner Bros. Did an intelligent thing by moving their 2021 slate of movies to HBO Max. Even though they're also releasing in cinemas, it may still be better for people to watch it in um, on HBO Max because it's your health comes first, and then then you can you know
I,
enjoy
I
later
mean,
on when once
yeah.
everything is done. Yeah.
I mean, look at so there's a new strain of virus, and most countries are closing again.
Yeah,
Cinemas are closed.
right
So
now right now UK is completely down. It's on a tier 4 lockdown, which basically means it's completely shut down everything. So even if movies are released in the cinema, people are not going to watch it. And secondly, people there's not going to be a lot of box office money from that, as we see right now with Wonder Woman 1984. It's not a commercial fail by any means, but right now there's no people are not going to watch it in the cinema. I think that's the norm at the moment. Okay, secondly, I think what we talked about, some of the directors and actors, people who are disagreeing with HBO Max, who are against it by saying that the movie should be seen in the cinema. They I think from a human like humanity's perspective, they don't really care about the people. They're not really caring about the fans then, because they want people to go and watch it in the cinema. And if you go and watch it in the cinema, you're risking yourself, you're risking your family members at home as well.
I mean, the director for Dune did say that he wanted to, let Warner Brothers postpone the film to maybe next year or after that. But that's also a problem for Warner Brothers. I mean, if every director says they want to postpone their film, it's going to be difficult for them.
And
I mean, they
also,
have a production house to run.
yeah,
I
and
mean, they won't
also,
release movie, then what will they do?
yeah, also the thing is, uh, a lot of sources say basically that if you keep a movie, once a movie is done with the production and you're keeping a movie and not releasing it, it costs money, like to keep the movie by not releasing it. It costs money for that. So, and if Warner Bros are going to do that, they're going to lose money instead of gaining it. So they need to actually look at all the open sources.
I mean, but we all know Warner Brothers can keep a movie locked up in a room for 3 to 4 years. They
Years
can
for
do
sure.
that. They've
Snyder
already
cut.
done that. Yeah,
Snyder
once.
cuts.
I mean, they don't have a problem with that. So they can keep a couple of movies in the room.
What do you guys think though? How big was it, for this Snyder Cut to be, released? I know it's just crazy to think that fans could
This
make such a
was
movement happen, right? I
ex-
mean, this
this
is
was
for the
extremely
fans.
huge, man. Because I remember, for say in like 2018, 19, for some of the days, I actually woke up early morning at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to post, release the Snyder Cut, because there was like a thing, they were doing this number 1 on Twitter. They were
Yeah,
posting release the Snyder Cut.
they were trending. It was a massive movement by the fans, and it all started from one tweet, and that tweet only got famous when some person asked Zack Snyder in Comic Con that does a Zack Snyder cut, like a Snyder cut is available or not, like does it exist? And he was like, yes, I do have a cut. And that literally every single fan came out and like in support of the Snyder cut.
There's
it took a lot of
there's now a
years.
new. Oh yeah, you go.
Yeah, it took a lot of years for Warner Bros. To come back to their senses. And once AT&T got hold of the company, then they talked with Snyder. Snyder showed them the movie, like an incomplete version of it, and they were like pumped. They were like, "Yeah, man, we gotta release this." And that's basically one of the selling points of HBO Max right now. The Snyder Cut. It was the first big movie that was announced just for HBO Max and exclusive for HBO Max. And I think that's a really big thing for right now for them.
Now, did you see they're doing a new trend? Restore the Snyderverse. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
Yeah, this is happening because right now there was a article. A lot of different Instagram pages, they kind of misinformed everyone right now. From what I've read in the article, it says that basically um, they right now there's no further expansion of the universe. Like they're not going to go in that, and they're not going to use Snyder's what do you call it, Snyder's vision at the moment. And that's right now, that's what Walter Hamada said. But we all know they're just waiting for the success of Snyder Cut, for them to greenlit the whole Snyderverse again. And as we know, like what happened with Wonder Woman 3, they just as soon as the numbers came up for HBO Max for Wonder Woman 1984, they just literally greenlit the third movie directly. So this just shows that how they're waiting for the response on that movie. and I think it's going to be a total success. There's no doubt in that. And honestly, I want all the fans to actually either purchase the movie, purchase whatever subscription service they have. Do not pirate the movie, and watch it and make it successful.
I think they're also going to go for a theatrical release because I mean Zack Snyder did say that his movie is it's made for IMAX. It's going to be amazing. And then surprisingly, the IMAX Twitter handle actually reposted that, and they were like, "We're good to see you" and something like that. So I feel like maybe there's a chance we'll see that film in cinemas in the big screens. That's what I'm just
Yeah,
hoping that
I,
happens.
I can't imagine this movie happening and it not being in cinema. It feels too big not to happen in cinema. I can't
This
imagine
movie's
watching this at home. I mean, I want
it's
to
so
see this on the big
big.
screen.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
honestly,
if
it has to it's going to be groundbreaking if it is coming in cinemas. But I think that's we're all gonna learn about that once Justice Con comes along. That's where we're gonna get another trailer for the Snyder Cut. And then over there we're also going to know the future plans, what they're planning on how to expand this universe. Because from what I've read in the article, with the interview with Walter Hamada, he basically said that it can be made into a live action, either it's a live action movie show, or it can be either in a comic book, or it can be also be in a animated show. But I think the latter are I wouldn't recommend it, because I really want to see it in live action, because that's what Snyder's vision is all about. And there are also news about that there's going to be new HBO Max exclusive shows based on Batgirl and Static Shock, so two DC superheroes. So this is another groundbreaking thing for them, I think. And
they did say that from 2022 they're gonna have 4 DCU films and 2 HBO Max exclusive movies from DCEU. They're gonna go deeper into the DC extended universe. So I'm really excited to see how they do this, and hopefully we get Batfleck solo film with me. I mean, that's true. Same thing.
yeah, and I think the other thing was the Batman solo series, starring Ben Affleck and Joey as Deathstroke. So I think that series can be, really um, a different kind of take on the whole, dynamic of Batman. And either if it's a series or it's a movie, I think both things would work, honestly.
I
And
mean, Walter Hamada did say that they're gonna have two Batman, two different interpretations running together at the same time, two different versions of Batman. So
so
one is Pattinson, the other is obviously Batfleck. But
that,
some Instagram pages are saying that Batfleck is going to die, and then Michael Keaton will replace him, which I feel is stupid because it wouldn't make sense to put an
That's
older
really messing up
Batman.
time a bit, isn't it?
Yeah,
With-
I mean, I'll be happy if they give Michael Keaton a Batman Beyond film. See, separate from the DCU and everything. That would make more sense. But having him replace Ben Affleck is a little stupid.
yeah, I think a Ben Affleck Batman movie would be amazing. And Michael Keaton Batman Beyond is possible, because you have him coming in the Flash now, and he won't replace Ben Affleck, I believe, because that wouldn't make a lot of sense to replace him at this point. Another thing that's coming to HBO Max is a lot of old DC TV shows and movies and animated shows as well. So that's another big thing that HBO Max are doing. What are your thoughts on that?
yeah, I think it's great. I mean, the more content, the better, right? I mean, HBO Max obviously is new and I think it's just in the US, right? Goat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
HBO
right now
Max
it's only in
just in the US as of now. Yeah.
the US and some other territories as well, other regions as well.
Yeah, I think it definitely should try going global because I mean to attract other viewers. Like I think Disney Plus and obviously Netflix and all spread across a lot more countries and can reach a wider audience.
I feel like maybe now, since Wonder Woman 84 did so well on HBO Max, maybe they have more trust in their app. I feel like they're now going to go for global release, maybe slowly, because now they have a lot of big movies coming up. They have Snyder Cut, they have the Tom and Jerry film, which is big, I guess. And then
That's true.
there's
You're really
Matrix
excited for that
4.
Yeah,
Tom and Jerry film, huh? Really excited for that.
I
there are a
just
lot
love
of
Tom and Jerry.
there are a lot of films that are coming, like Matrix 4 is also coming. There's King Kong
Godzilla,
Godzilla.
King Kong,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's going to be a one heck of a film. But I think that that's one of the things that HBO Max should do is uh, get it across all the countries. Otherwise, if they just keep it in US and by end of next year, then it's gonna become it won't be that profitable for them because they have these huge budget like huge budget films, and then they're not releasing it worldwide on HBO Max. Then there's no use of it.
Isn't the next Matrix and the next John Wick movie actually releasing around the same date? I think I'd seen a
No, I
post like that,
think
right?
they
It got
changed it.
pushed. Yeah, it got pushed forward.
John Wick?
It was same before,
Yeah, it was the
but
same
then now
day,
it's
but
different.
then it got pushed forward.
It would be a stupid move to release two big
Yeah,
movies
poor
of the
Keanu.
same
He'd have to
actor.
be like two
Yeah,
places at once.
either you
I
have
mean,
to
I know
watch
he's great and all. I
both
love him,
movies
but
on the
that's
same
asking too
day.
much for.
I can't wait for John Wick to be in Spider-Man 3 because that's gonna be one heck of a cameo.
By the way, I'm also showing up as Deathstroke. I'm in Spider-Man 3.
I'm
I was
also
there in the
And you
original
guys
one,
do
if
know
you
who's the villain,
notice.
right? For Spider-Man 3, it's screen time. With all those
Screen.
characters around.
Oh. See that, one thing what's going to be weird is, right, I remember when this thing BVS and Man of Steel came out, everyone was so pissed that why is the movie so long? Why is it more than like 2.5 hours long? And it's really boring. And then they put movies like Endgame, and everyone just goes crazy. Oh, 3 hours is so less. We want more of the film. Now
yeah,
they're going to do the same
and
thing with Spider-Man.
I saw a lot of memes like people saying like, "Oh my God, I have to go." I wish there was a pause in between the movies so I can go to the bathroom, get some more snacks and all that. Like
I mean,
three
you should
hours.
ask the Lord of the Rings fan. I've heard they're really long. All three movies. They're like
Yeah,
more than three
Imagine sitting in
hours.
the theater for that, right? Toilet breaks would have to hold.
I mean, we always have the cup, so there's
okay
always
then.
an option.
So we all know what he does with the popcorn box now after he eats all the popcorns. All right, guys. Right now, there's three major streaming services battling for dominance over the other. So we have Netflix, we have Disney Plus, and we have HBO Max. Which one would you choose and why?
I feel like you have a problem with Amazon Prime. I mean, they're also there.
I
Don't
mean,
have to be racist.
I mean the thing is the major. There are only three major ones at the moment. Amazon Prime Video have only some kind of exclusive shows, but that's not enough. I think Amazon Prime Video lacks a lot of content from my perspective.
Yeah, okay, to answer your question, I think I'll start by saying as of now it's Netflix. Obviously, because right now I feel it's the biggest. I mean, I do have Netflix in my house as well. That's why I'm saying Netflix. But I mean, it is the most convenient right now. I'd say you turn it on and you can watch anything you want, really, mostly anything you want, whether it's with family or with friends. I mean, randomly I turn on watch an episode of Friends, while I'm eating food or something in the night if I'm with family and we want to watch some random movie which probably is shit, by the way, but families want to watch some random rom-com, you just turn it on. So for me, right now, I feel Netflix is the most convenient, but easily if HBO Max goes global, that could change perception.
Well, I agree with you, King Shah. Netflix obviously has a lot of original shows, and they have a really big movie and TV show library. But then on the other hand, HBO Max, the thing is they have all of Warner Brothers films and TV shows. Everything's gonna be on there, even Friends. So all the Friends fans, HBO Max is the way to go. On the other hand, for Disney Plus, I feel like that they have a lot of new content coming up, and they have their old content. So I feel like Netflix is now going to have a really strong competition with Disney Plus and HBO Max, because both of the sides have a lot of old content, and they're going to have a lot of new original content. Now the problem with Netflix, I feel like, is most of the new content usually tends to be a lot of rom-com and stuff, or comedy. But and HBO Max and Disney Plus is going to have a lot of Star Wars, MCU, and HBO Max is going to have DCU, a lot of DC. So I feel like most people would shift towards these app once they go global. So that's what I feel.
Yeah, I feel we could say probably that Netflix is for more the general audience, who don't really have a favorite thing. Like if you just want to, turn on and watch, something random, right?
Yeah, they have a lot of that kind of content right now. But I feel like once HBO Max and Disney Plus go fully global, fully international, they're gonna have most people are gonna change towards the
They're
other
gonna, yeah,
apps.
they're gonna give competition to Netflix, obviously. Right now, Netflix is leading in the US market with HBO Max, following suit, and then Disney Plus, because these three are the major ones in the market right now. What I believe is that Netflix is more into creating more original content, giving chances to a lot of original creators and original ideas more, while Disney Plus is just a lot of reboots, rewriting stuff, and making adaptations of their animated movies. And on the Star Wars side, they have a lot of new movies and shows coming up on the Star Wars and the MCU side. So there are a lot of fans for that. A lot of people will be going for Disney Plus because of only because of these things, not because of any other DC content they may have. And HBO Max also is going into more of nostalgia in a way, getting first of all getting Fresh Prince of Bel Air, a reunion between them, and now there's a Friends reunion coming up very soon, and they have all the original shows as well, very old shows, new shows, and a lot of original ideas coming over there as well. Um, but one thing that HBO Max has, and maybe even Disney Plus have, that Netflix don't, is they have a major franchise already with them. They like, and if we only think about the MCU when it comes to Disney Plus. We only think about the MCU and um, Star Wars. But there's also another one. There's Percy Jackson that's coming up. They're also building a whole universe around it. And I think Percy Jackson is amazing. Honestly, I read all the books and I love all of them. And yeah, yeah.
Who who loves Percy Jackson here? Anybody other than
I
you? King Shark, what do you think? Do you like Percy
Uh,
Jackson?
I'm not gonna lie that I haven't really followed much of Percy Jackson. I didn't read much of the books and all,
Yeah,
but
see, that's why I
if
love this guy. And he doesn't even read a school book, so nah, he would really want to read Percy Jackson.
I mean, Percy Jackson can honestly be kind of compared to the Harry Potter franchise in a way. if it's done right, it can become the next Harry Potter franchise. Because honestly, after Harry Potter, um, Fantastic Beasts is honestly, not that great.
Can I say one more thing?
Ye-
I I hope this doesn't piss anyone, but I don't
Don't
like
say it.
Harry Potter.
Don't say it.
It's shit. It's stupid. It's bunch of
Please leave. Please
weird
leave.
mumbo
Please
jumbo.
leave right now, Deathstroke.
I know I'll get a lot of
I'm,
hate. See, I love
I'm a
the
big
characters.
Harry
I
Potter
love
fan.
Voldemort, but I mean, I'm sorry. I can't lie, but come on. Fuck Harry Potter. Sorry, guys.
Hey, listen, listen. Harry Potter is great. Fantastic Beasts isn't great, but Harry Potter is just superb.
It
I loved all the
sucks, man.
movies,
That
all the books.
it's stupid. I tried watching. I can't. It's not good. I know what people say.
this is our new mission to make him watch Harry Potter, the whole Harry Potter series.
You gotta watch all. Okay, have you watched all Deathstroke? Answer me that. Have you watched all the movies?
I tried watching. I watched till the fourth one. I think the the weird names, man. There's so many names. It's that Goblet of Fire. I think that's the fourth one.
Okay, you can't judge it without watching all.
I have watched the first few ones, and I didn't like them. I watched four. That's like almost half of them, right? Because
Hey,
they're like
aren't you a big
seven,
Star
eight
Wars
parts.
fan as well? And you've seen few episodes and you like them, right? You don't like all Star Wars episodes, don't you?
Look, uh,
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
thing
yeah, tell me.
is, no, no. See, there are different characters in each of the episodes. In the first original ones, there are like three different, and then in the prequels, they're different. In the sequels, they're different. So that's why they're characters. But I don't like Harry Potter or Ron Weasley or
Yeah,
Voldemort
it's
or
probably
that guy
your
with the
uh,
long hair, the
probably your
black
opinion,
long hair.
probably only your opinion or something. But yeah, anyways, like I was saying that these are the major competitors at the moment, and what Netflix is doing is they're also trying to create these franchises for themselves. Um, I don't know if you guys know about Umbrella Academy. It's part of the Variant Comics universe, and it's also really it's actually a really good show. I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but yeah, that's what Netflix is trying to do. They're trying to bring in more competition, because right now they're losing a lot of subscribers in the US, because uh, people are not getting more content, as Disney Plus is offering, and or HBO Max is offering. I think for me, HBO Max is going to be the top streaming service, because it has a little bit of both from the competition. Netflix, it also gives it lets original ideas to be made into shows or movies, like Netflix does. And it also has its own franchise, like the DCEU, the DCU, which is the DC universe for these TV shows and all that. And then there's also the CW verse. So HBO Max has all of that under it, and that's basically a full franchise they have. And HBO Max also has the Harry Potter franchise, so it has a lot of items under it. So I think that's why HBO Max will come out on top.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I do feel in the upcoming years, HBO Max will take over. And just giving a shout out to what Deathstroke said earlier about Amazon Prime. I think one show that is just amazing on Amazon
The
Prime is The Boys.
Boys.
The Boys,
Yeah,
yeah.
The Boys
Yes,
for me is
yes.
probably the best superhero show right now. Right? Would you agree with
That's
that?
actually amazing show. That's completely different from any of the superhero movies or TV shows you've seen. It's weird, it's crazy, and it's amazing. Especially the villain
Yeah.
Homelander and Carl Urban as Billy Butcher. It's really perfect.
Yeah,
Like I would suggest people to get uh, Amazon Prime just for The Boys. That's how good The Boys is. It's just a terrific show, and I wish that HBO Max one day could take The Boys, and just add to it, because that'd be a superb show to have on HBO Max.
I think that's very unlikely, but it's always good to dream about that. But yeah, I
Hey,
think
we dreamed about the Snyder Cut and it happened, right? So never say never.
yeah, you can. That's true. That's true. But Amazon Prime, I think that's the only show that you would get Amazon Prime for, and after that, there's nothing else. There's not a lot of content on Amazon Prime. I think the only show that came out that people actually wanted to watch, not a show, I mean a movie, was Borat 2. I think that was the only movie that came out in a long time. Like that was people were anticipating for it. So I think that's the only
And
Amazon Prime Video is
the
for.
the thing about Amazon Prime are there are a lot of Indian films. It really appeals to the Indian audience.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
has
I think it's a big thing in India.
yeah, it's
That's
more
what
of a Bollywood streaming service than um
yeah.
than a Hollywood one.
They actually have a lot of great Indian shows that are actually good. It's not just the typical shows. So I think that's one of the plus points for Amazon Prime because India is, as we know, it's really huge in a big population. So a lot of people have Amazon Prime from what I've heard.
Yeah, it has a bigger market over there, and that's why Amazon Prime appeals to them mostly. But when it comes to internationally, like as a whole, then the Amazon Prime Video does not come even close to any of these three major ones. There's also another streaming service, Hulu, which is very under the dark
Who?
at the moment. Hulu.
Who? Nobody cares about that app. Let's just not
Yeah,
waste our time
honestly,
on that. Nobody cares. Just
yeah,
let's move on.
yeah. Other than that, yeah. So these are the three major, and my predictions, like I think even your predictions are that HBOMAX will come out on top in the future. And if they play their cards right, they will easily overtake Netflix as the king of streaming services.
Yeah, agree completely. Over to you, Deathstroke. Anything to add on that?
Yeah, I just want to say Harry Potter sucks. That's all. Thank you. Peace, I'm
You know
out.
what? That's a debate we can have another day. Deathstroke. You need to watch all
There's
the
no
Harry Potter
debate.
movies.
There's not gonna be debate about Harry Potter. Okay, that film sucks. All of them. All eight,
Better than Star
seven,
Wars.
eight chapters. Look, see,
um,
control your language, bro. Okay, don't cross your limits. Know your limits, okay? Don't piss me off, okay? I know where you live.
what is this, the breaking point or something? um yeah, so one last question, I think, what people would be wanting for the Snyderverse is, what could Justice Con mean for the future of DC? King Shark.
Certainly, we do want to know. What happens after. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Are we gonna see another movie? Are we gonna see shows related to characters from the movie? Personally, I would love to see Ben Affleck get a movie or a show. I feel his Batman deserves it because you see so many people say, oh, you know, all this saying that, oh, all the other Batmans are so much better and stuff. But in all fairness, Ben Affleck didn't get his origin movie as a Batman, so we can't really judge him, that much. So I definitely feel he needs either movie or a show, and that's something that I really want to happen.
I don't
Yeah,
think people really care, man. I mean, have you seen Jared later? He got only 10 minutes and people hate him for some reason. I mean, I think, yeah, he is a different version of the Joker. All of the Jokers have been different from each other. And even each Batman is different in its own way. And I feel like people hate on everything without we haven't seen Batfleck and Joker and Deathstroke in their own solo films, the backstory of them or anything. We haven't seen, we've just seen one part of Batman. That's it. Even in Justice League, we don't see the original Batman, we see Batman.
for sure. I feel the best version of Batfleck was definitely in Batman versus Superman. I mean that
I
kick-ass
think that
Batman, the
guy,
one who kicks
that
Superman's ass left, right, and center.
I think that one action sequence for me is better than most MCU movies have done in their whole runtime.
Oh,
For me, you know,
that's something I should be saying because I'm
because
the I'm the MCU hater here.
no, I mean honestly, that scene was the warehouse scene, as they call it, is I think one of the best scenes in the whole movie, and it's one of the best scenes in across the whole DCEU as well. I believe.
I think the thing that I love most about DC is that they try different stuff. They don't stick to one generic thing. And I don't mean that in disrespect to all, but like DC would have a dark movie, they'd have a funny movie, they'd have a mid funny, a mid action. You know what I mean? Like the last three movies have probably been three different type of tones, right? DC.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at one part, you have the Joker movie, and on the other hand, you have Shazam. So like, uh, I mean, there's two different tones, completely two different tones that are happening over there. So you never know, like how DC is playing their game. But the problem is, if even if DC gets more control of their content, I think it can become even better than what it is at the moment. Like with Snyder's vision, with other directors' visions like James Wan and Patty Jenkins, they can create a whole interconnected universe and even a multiverse at some point, a better connected multiverse as well. So I guess that's all the time we have for today. We'll be back next week for another podcast. Um, any last words, anyone?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think one
yeah, I
thing people
have.
should look forward to
Oh,
for next week is that we're gonna be debating two awesome shows of its time, right? Right, guys?
yeah,
Two two
A little
shows,
sneak peek, I guess.
yeah.
A little sneak peek for the next episode. Two legendary shows. Legend, wait for it. Dairy shows.
Could
Uh,
it get any better?
all right, guys. The goat signing off with King Shark and Deathstroke.